Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. First, thank you very much, Asif, for making your home available and for allowing me the great privilege of co-hosting this important event. I'm delighted to be with you all here tonight, somewhat daunted by the challenge of following such an act as Angelina Jolie, as I've mentioned. But we come here, I think, tonight for a very significant purpose, and that is to recognise the importance of ending sexual violence and conflicts around the world, and to commit ourselves to doing what we can to reverse that and to redress that dreadful evil. I'm really very honoured, not to say intimidated slightly, by the company of so many very impressive and influential women here tonight. Women who have made and will continue to make such an important contribution to the peace process in the Philippines. Tonight's event is the result of a partnership arrangement announced in March this year, just a couple of months ago, by Australia's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Julie Bishop, and the United Kingdom's Secretary of State for International Development, Justine Greening, at a regular event called the Australia-UK Ministerial Meeting, less elegantly known as OCMIN. Under this arrangement, Australia and the US and the UK have agreed to partake further in international development efforts together to ensure more coordinated, more effective and more sustainable results of our actions around the world. And that includes, very importantly, work on peace and stability. So I need to thank, and I'm honoured to thank in this company, our British colleagues for providing the opportunity for Australia to be involved in the Global Summit on Ending Sexual Violence in Conflict, which is being co-sponsored and by co-sponsoring the delegation which will travel to the summit and conduct activities at the Summit Fringe Festival. We're really very pleased to be able to partner with the UK in this meaningful initiative. Just yesterday, in fact, Australia's Minister for Foreign Affairs hosted a national dialogue on preventing sexual violence in conflict in partnership with the UK High Commission in Canberra. And this dialogue took place at Parliament House and was an opportunity for representatives from the government, from civil society and academia to discuss the challenges and to identify practical action to prevent sexual violence in conflict. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that we'd all agree that sexual and gender-based violence is a violation of women's human rights and is often an invisible yet very critical obstacle to peace building. In conflicts all around the world, women are frequently victims of atrocities and injustices. International evidence shows that violence against women escalates during times of conflict and can remain even after the conflict has ended. And so Australia, along with our friends in the UK, is very proud to support this delegation of 12 impressive Filipino women to attend the Global Summit in London. You, the delegates, will have much to share on the importance of women's involvement in peace building. This support, from our point of view, is consistent with Australia's priority to protect women and girls from violence and to engender and encourage gender equality. We, along with our British colleagues, are very proud supporters of the United Nations Security Council Resolution number 1325, which recognises the role which women play in preventing conflict, in building peace, and in preventing and responding to sexual violence in conflict. And so many of you here tonight have already proven that women have a key role to play in influencing policies that improve the welfare of the nation, not just for women, but for everyone. We believe that women's participation in decision-making, leadership and peace building is an absolute imperative and should, in fact, be a right in itself. And the evidence is clear that more participation by women results in fairer distribution of resources and improved sustainability of outcomes. We recognise women's capacity to make decisions on women, peace and security issues, and hope to support this in the work that we do here in the Philippines. I'd like to acknowledge and pay tribute to the efforts of so many Filipino women in the peace process, as negotiators, mediators, peacekeepers, relief workers, and much more. Your contribution is in fact inspirational, and it has set the bar high around the world. Australia has a long history of supporting the peace process in the Philippines. Since 1996, we've been funding catalytic activities to encourage community-level peace building and to strengthen key institutions and promote peace in Mindanao. As one example of that, we've partnered with a local non-government organisation to encourage women's involvement in the normalisation process. Building on women's unique experience of armed conflict and perspectives on normalisation, we're helping women to contribute to a post-conflict environment that promotes equal human rights, livelihood opportunities for all, and active political participation. In March this year, Australia's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Julie Bishop, warmly welcomed the signing of the Comprehensive Agreement on the Bangsamoro by the Government of the Philippines and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. It's an historic accomplishment on the path to achieving long-term security, stability and prosperity for the people of the southern Philippines and beyond. And we commend the commitment of all parties in negotiating this agreement. Following the signing of the agreement, the Australian government was pleased to announce an additional $6 million, Australian dollars, committed over the next 3 years through our aid program to help strengthen the peace process and boost capacity to implement the peace agreement. As a part of that commitment, we recognise the important role that women will play in the peace process and have made women's engagement a criterion by which we will provide funding support. And we hope that supporting this delegation proves Australia's commitment to encouraging women's equality and strong participation. Each member of the delegation, ladies and gentlemen, has contributed significantly to the peace process in the Philippines. You have indeed a very positive story to tell, and we hope to learn a lot more from you on your return. Now, it's my pleasant duty to pass the baton to, I think, a national icon of the Philippines. I refer, of course, to Secretary Ging Dallas. Thank you for your attention. Maraming salamat po.